TSM now, just off of these 2 maps we've played. That's pretty impressive stuff. If it does come to pass, we're not certain though. We'll have to get past this ban phase first. So we'll see what TSM gets rid of. Be a Thatcher. The response from SSG in kind right after.
Thatcher and Maverick were 2 operators that were banned out on Clubhouse, giving an advantage, obviously, to the defenders, though the map itself was relatively even in terms of its balancing. Nomad banned out by Spacestation. This is also an operator that is used by SSG, Thinking Nade in particular, so it might be a self-inflicted wound, but they're going to know how to play around it. For those that don't understand or are familiar with the strategy involving operator bans, is now Valkyrie joins the no-play party that's going on right here alongside Mira. What you tend to see is that the operators that a team bans, so in this case, TSM banned both Thatcher and Mira, Spacestation banned Nomad and Valkyrie, they are, or at least should be, pretty comfortable about playing with those operators or without them, and more importantly, without them. The idea is that your ban either A, plays to the way that you want a round to flow or a strategy to flow, or is to put your opponent at a major disadvantage. A good example of that is we have seen targeted Ashe bans at both TSM and Dark Zero because of Merc and because of Hyper. In this case, I think these operator bans are pretty applicable regardless of which teams you're playing against. It's a very good spread. Valkyrie has been the 2nd most banned operator other than Wamai, and for the 2nd map in a row, Wamai is going to be free to play. No, but for those of you that don't own this game, not actually free to play, but you still have to.
He can be played.
You still have to buy him.
These players here now, right this second, they can play.
They can play.
Wamai.
You might not be able to.
But you can get there, though. It's not doesn't take that long to grind operators in this game, does it?
No, it depends. It depends on how good of a grinder you are.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Are we still doing phasing?
I don't know what you're talking about.
TSM are setting up on the bottom floor, but they are not opening up the bathroom drop. Take a look at that. That's a very different setup here. Normally, what you'll have is most defenses will extend into the bathroom to try and delay. You know, hide in the corner by the stalls, play a shotgun in there maybe. This time it's TSM. They'll be setting up on a roam, but not on the bottom or on the middle floor. It'll be on the top floor, achieved in projector, reinforcing off the Bosco spot corner. We'll see what he could do to stop Bosco from clearing him out from that position later in the round. I think Malusi is a great operator from this position, or for this position.
Roaming up top is achieved as once again TSM will be starting on defense. Talked about it at the start of Clubhouse. We'll remind you if you were not here for that, TSM will be the first team to defend on the next 2 maps. Villa will be required now. We know that no matter what, we will see the Italian map get played. As for the final map, it's Cafe. Still not entirely certain that we will need it. We won't know if we'll need it until after Villa. But if so, SSG will be on defense. The team that starts the map on defense will be attacking on OT both times on every map. So that's an easy way to remember it. So if overtime is required, SSG will defend twice, whereas TSM will only do it once. That's just a bit of a preamble there, so you can now swap to what's happening on your screen, as there's a lot of focus right now being applied to Achieved. He was being hunted down upstairs inside a projector, and he's been able to get away quite successfully, only wasting an impact in the process.
He's trying to cover his descent so that Zofia didn't see him on the drop, but the angle wasn't even there. The angles are there for Canadian Fultz, though. They pick up 2 big kills. That's Achieved, the original hunter, or rather roamer, being hunted. And then Bolo, who is trying to assist, both of them get taken down. Those are some really impressive shots, or at least they appeared to be. Not that we got to see them firsthand, by SSG. So now with the 2-man advantage and the top floor control, as well as the middle floor control, TSM not in a great spot. Spacestation have the soft destruction that they can apply above. They position Bosco and Piano. They'll start opening up over the anchors. And he's got plenty of time to do that as well. 50 seconds is a lot in this level.
Waiting very patiently as there goes the first exothermic charge. No impacts for Kaid, so you can't do what he used to be able to accomplish back with that Na'Vi strat, if people recall it, over towards the double panels, where one would be left soft specifically so you can break off that hard destruction. Joining the pile of bodies will be Rampy and now Bosco as well, both at the hands of Merc as he guns through the floor. He heads now towards yellow stairs. He has another lined up. It's a big start for this map for Merc, just as before. The advantage that SSG had in terms of numbers evaporated, and with it, you will see the smoke linger and the clock continue to strike downward. Possibly another for Merc, but he misses out on thinking nade. Back to a 2v2. Canadian will need to walk in and begin to plant. He's vulnerable. He knows it. They'll have to go for picks, but no, he gets shot at the last second, and Geo sitting on top of the diffuser will protect it. Round one goes in favor of TSM.
It's deja vu, Parker. Merc picking up the impact frags. Despite TSM having the early disadvantage, Merc is there to, well, pull his team out of it. Impressive stuff. He played through the angles that were opened up above, managing to get 2 kills through the holes that Sledge made, and then just pushed up yellow to force the initiative even further in TSM's favor. Now, eventually that did get, he did get punished. Thinking Nade shut him down on that aggressive play, and that's good for Thinking Nade. Props to him, but damage done. Spacestation had full control of that round, and no matter how you look at it, they dropped the ball.
Good start for them and a good start for Merc. I had said that the kill per round that Merc was achieving on Clubhouse was likely unsustainable. Now, so far, not necessarily the case. Merc was the top performer in map 1. He was followed very closely by Bolo, who had a slow start but picked up the pace in the later portion of that map. The latter portion of that map, whatever you want to call it. And I also wanted to say that Fultz is breaking over a 2+ KD, so that type of performance, I suppose, is somewhat sustainable here for Merc. He's been reunited with Maestro, who was banned out on Clubhouse and was banned by TSM deliberately to try and hinder either Thinking Nade or Fultz, the two strongest, I would argue, Maestros in the lobby right now. Maybe Merc is better than Thinking Nade, but I think if you had to pick one, Fultz is probably the man that you're going to be thinking of on Maestro, and it is a targeted ban that SSG has had to deal with time and time again. Take it as a compliment, as frustrating as it might be. It's like when Ash gets banned against Merc or Vigil gets banned against Merc. I'm sure he's frustrated by it, but there might be some periods of time where you're lying all alone in bed at night trying to sleep and you just smirk and think to yourself, yeah, they banned it because of me.
It's especially easy if you take the win.
Exactly.
TSM are already looking good for that. I will say, though, a big part of that last round was not just Merc's performance, but SSG just letting their advantage slip away. The fact that they cleared out the roamers so early and they didn't get any punishment for it, they got both the kills, clean as it comes on a roam clear, and still SSG loses that? They're going to have to do better as they attack into the main floor here. TSM trying to roam upstairs. It's not as much a delay factor anymore on this site. It's more of a Chala needs to hold this. And he's being supported by Bolo. You got to hold above for as long as you can, not for time, but so that you can maintain control over the main lobby. It is essential. So these two players upstairs in good positions have a big task. Fultz will get Geo, who I believe was playing by the main lobby. Yep, there he is. Near the circle desk, very exposed. Easy early kill there for Fultz, and SSG once again, lead off with the advantage.
We'll see if TSM can fall back now, as they're still going to just invest as heavily upstairs. Maybe a reposition from Chala, but Bolo is still in that same spot. If he doesn't get shaken off, this is going to obviously work very well for TSM. As with it being a lobby defense, you usually want to take some control of console office above, commonly referred to as CEO, because down below it is the bomb site in Piano, and you need that as an attacking team. Unless you're going to go for a lobby take, which right now I feel like Piano takes we tend to see more often than not, and SSG in particular really does favor a smoke play into Piano with Canadian going and attempting to plant. So yes, Bolo will be a thorn in your side if you are not able to claim that map control from TSM, and for now, it doesn't seem like SSG really focuses on it at all. Chala's up there supporting him too. The drone goes by, might not have even spotted him. He's going to need to contend against two. There's a clone and a grenade at his feet. He can't deal with both of them, so down he goes. Bolo now under heavy fire. He snaps up, does what he does best, but Canadian is down, and Fultz has his teammates back. TSM with just 2 remaining members, but 10 seconds for them. This is good shape. Merc will guard the opening, and SSG will need to hurry. They're going to need to translate, and there it happens. Rampy with the diffuser, almost being planted. Merc swings out. He can't outduel Bosco, but unfortunately, Rampy gets stopped, and TSM takes the round. Just like that, only one member of TSM is required to win them the round, and it's 2-0 for TSM on defense.
TSM, the round thieves. They have stolen 2 now from SSG, and Spacestation is letting them. That's the crucial part. What happened there? Well, Spacestation overcommitted to the site pressure and didn't leave anyone upstairs to hold the drop. So the last member on TSM walks upstairs, sees the planter, and stops it on 000. That's it. There you go. Other than that, Spacestation did a great job clearing out the top floor. It was a little slow, but they got the job done. And following that, you would expect Spacestation to be able to get the plant down. Now that they have full control, they can deny the pushes in through mezzanine or through spiral from the drop, or just by putting bodies on there. They've got enough manpower. They can do both, actually. Bodies in the site and above. That is a hilarious overcommitment, though, of manpower. And not having anyone stay above, just interesting. Spacestation have got to be kicking themselves for that one, and that's 2 in a row. Those are the type of rounds early in a match that they don't break your heart. They just make you think, wow, we should be doing better. So we'll see if Spacestation will correct course here. But right now, TSM, I bet they're chuckling about this.
Well, I mean, they got to be very happy, and pressure can definitely weigh on the shoulders of SSG. The only other best of 5 in which SSG came in as the winners, if you recall, they dropped map 1. 2 ninjas in pajamas. They dropped map 2. They stormed back, and it was technically a reverse sweep on their end. So this SSG team at least understands what it's like to trail in big maps and have your opponent gain the momentum. In rematches, the loser seemingly gets imbued with all of this energy and power, and they're able to come back in spectacular fashion. Well, for TSM, they picked up the first 2 rounds of a crucial map of theirs, but yet again, it's an opening pick for Spacestation. The entry for SSG has been great through these 3 rounds. They have gone flawless on their opening duels. They have been unable to translate that to a round victory just yet, which speaks to either A, TSM's ability to clutch out a 4v5. Bosco could have very easily made that a 3v5, but he missed Merc by just a second. There's Bolo down to Rampy, so a 3v5 for Spacestation still comes in anyway. So maybe it's just that TSM are able to bounce back from these numbers, or it could just simply be that SSG struggles in the mid round and then get caught while trying to pull off an execute. And on a map they might not be the most familiar with in regards to their opponents, and your opponents know this map quite well. That could be all it takes, and the single difference why TSM is able to pull ahead on those 2 rounds.
In this round here now, the control is well in hand for Spacestation, as is the time and the man advantage. TSM's every attempt to bounce back has been thwarted or just hit nothing. C4, for example, top VSAT just didn't work out. And now, TSM wait. Spacestation gain information in the meantime. Isolating Geo now by Teller's Hall. This is a dangerous position. There are still nades in the pockets of SSG, but it's not necessary as they push in bullheadedly, and they'll lose a member for it, but there is the refrag. Thinking nade gets Merc. Silencing that gun is huge. Geo on low HP. Chala's eaten a little bit, but most importantly, the plant is going down, and there's good coverage this time. Chala will get Bosco. Canadian had to reset his plant. He was worried about C4. There is none in the pocket of Chala, and that's going to make it a post-plant. A forced retake up the Visa stairs. This isn't easy, and his teammate's not going to be that much assistance either as he comes up banana. He's got a cutoff, but he doesn't know it. He pushes into that cutoff. Rampy with the kill. And Chala now has to find 3 with an SMG-11. He won't even get Canadian. Spacestation, a great plant and great post-plant isolation. They'll take their first round.
That's the kind of thing that you expect to see when it comes to a 3-site rotation. Some bomb site is just not going to work out for you now. In Consulate, there really is no definitive bad bomb site. Archives tellers can break for the defense quite effectively, but it hinges often on C4 play from below because we know how challenging it is to go for retakes. You touched on it, and I think something that really does need to be reminded of for people. It appears that we have a timeout happening at the moment, being taken by Spacestation. This is a very early timeout. So I would imagine that Lycan really didn't like something that he was seeing. Either that, or maybe it's just to try to settle them down, because the start that SSG has had has not been the greatest. I touched on it. You win all of your opening duels. You have full site control, and yet 2 clutches from TSM are the reason why you lost those first 2 rounds. Mind you, Merc did his best to ensure that it was a challenging prospect back in round number 1, but round number 2 really should have broken in SSG's favor, and it just did not. It is entirely possible that this tactical timeout being taken so early is being done to set up a structure for SSG for them to follow, so that from here on out, they can be more confident in the way they do their executes. They've got 3 more remaining before switching to defense. It also allows TSM to talk too, which is going to help for the team that, well, they might be leading in terms of the score, but both of these teams have looked pretty similar through these 3 rounds.
We've seen tactical timeouts called by SSG2 in particular after they win a round. I think that's something we've seen Lycan, I think, try to put a focus on. If you're losing, if you're in free fall, yeah, sometimes the tactical timeout can save you there. But when you are losing and then you manage to bring a little bit back, gain a little bit of ground, it could be big for your mental line just to end or start, I guess, your tactical timeout on a win. So this is good for Spacestation. I think they're going to be a little bit more revitalized after that. But their opponents, TSM, still doing a great job of picking up rounds where they really shouldn't be able to. And you know what you can pick up that relates to TSM?
Oh, I wanted it this time.
Go ahead, Parker.
No, you take it. It was a good transition. Go.
Okay. And you know what you could pick up related to TSM? Their awesome Zofia skin. Some of the best styling out there. And probably one of my favorite pilot program skins. Definitely thanks to the sleeves. It's worth checking out. You can find it in the in the actual game store under the esports tab. It's easy to find. And it directly supports TSM as well, if you are so inclined.
Same with the SSG skin, by the way.
Yeah,
let's not overlook that one. Though played on an operator that it doesn't have the same pick rate as Zofia. Also, how funny is it that both of those skins are on the sisters?
Oh yeah, Zofia versus Ella, I guess, in this match, in a manner of speaking.
Very convenient that the sister rivalry.
I mean, let's be honest about this. One of the sisters is drastically more popular than the other.
I mean, it wasn't always the case. Ella had her day in the sun, and then now Zofia has become infinitely more popular. Mostly just because Ella doesn't really bring what you need her to bring.
Day in the sun? Are you sure she wasn't the sun? She was so powerful. It was ridiculous.
No, Michael, she was a human, not the sun.
Oh my gosh.
Sun is a planet.
Yeah, Parker.
Who taught you about space?
It's not a planet. It's a gas giant of sorts. It's a big old ball of gas.
As I'm aware, Michael. It's a planet.
Caliber's getting angry in the chat right now. He's in all caps. It's not a planet. Ah!
It is a planet. Stars and planets are the same thing.
In a manner of speaking, yeah. I mean, they both have...
Michael, all of that was a joke. Anyway, we have a match going on in front of us. 90 seconds.
Gravitational wells, I guess.
We can speak of how 90 seconds were eclipsed in this round so far. No?
Eclipsed, I get it. That's funny.
See, because the eclipse is from the moon, and the moon is a star.
Zofia would be what? So wait, does that make me a moon? Because my name is Kickstar.
Focus on the match.
All right, Volts is going to be playing entry into the bathroom. And he's doing his best here to get the information before he goes to the execution. Look at this, though. 50 seconds left, and Achieved is continuing to persist. He will not leave this position. He'll get the first kill, too. An aggressive peek out there, and Volts goes down. TSM now 1 man up, and the time is continuing to tick away. SSG struggling a little bit, dealing with this bathroom hold. This is surprising. Normally, the bathroom player falls back, and I think Spacestation just expected that to happen, but not so here. Bosco going for the entry. He's got Rampy for backup. This will be a refrag for sure. And not even one for Wamai. He does down Zofia, and that's important. But look at the time as well. He's wasted so much. SSG also don't have the man advantage. Elsewhere, the engagement's favoring TSM. And now with time and man advantage in TSM's corner, this is their most confident round yet. Merc holding on to yellow stairs over by the front of white. The garage is not really open, so there's nothing that Spacestation can do with that. Bathroom's not really a great entry point. Bosco's going to die in smoke. A second for Merc on the yellow stairs. And TSM absolutely shut out SSG.
So the timeout not immediately paying dividends, unfortunately for Spacestation, but much to the benefit of TSM, as it's again boiling down to the time. You touched on it when there was 25 seconds left and SSG were still on that first floor. Well, you can't get control of garage, and where are you going to go from? Two members of SSG walk right into the Maestro playing at the bottom of the stairs, and down they fall. And yeah, Yalda from that long range might not have an ACOG, but it's still going to chew through you no matter what, because you are scrambling with 4 seconds left. You do not have the time to engage in a gunfight. You got to get into the bomb site. You got to try to get the diffuser down. Does not happen at all. Yet again, SSG falls victim to the final 20 seconds and how they play out. Whether it be being at a disadvantage in terms of numbers, whether it be gadgets being poorly applied, whether it be just poor communication. The last time SSG attacked this bomb site in particular, back in round number 2, they had a 1v4 that they still lost because nobody was covering the bottom of Spiral Stairs, where Rampy ended up getting punished from while he had the diffuser in his hands. Something is going on with the team not working together as effectively as before, and the space station that we've seen over the last 2 days, yeah, in that DZ match on the very first day, there were some hiccups with Rampy in particular playing out on his own. But the rest of the team has been a cohesive unit. TSM had some struggles where we pointed the finger at Merc, or we pointed the finger at Achieved and how they played because they didn't look like they were working with the rest of the team effectively. This time, TSM is a well-oiled machine. Everybody seems to be working well together. Merc in particular is having one of the best days he's had in quite a while at one of the highest levels of competition that he's had to play at. It's working out well for TSM. It does not bode well for SSG, especially since that timeout was just called by Lycan to try and settle the team down and maybe fix some things that he saw. It doesn't immediately pay off. It might help the trajectory of Space Station moving forward, but for the immediate future, it didn't seem to do too much to fix the issues that SSG has.
SSG have not been on the same plane, I think, overall in today compared to yesterday. It's similar strategy being executed here from Space Station. In a manner of speaking, they are setting up for the long angles. They're looking for those picks. They're fishing for them, expecting them. Right now, on attack, that's not happening. And TSM, their patience is paying off. This is similar to how SSG actually made their defenses work yesterday against TSM. The patience. And even today, Space Station have had some big rounds off of the patience. TSM are keeping their roamers in play right here and now on the top floor, but they're not going for any of those aggro fights. They're not trying to force the issue. In fact, I think they just repositioned most of them downstairs. There's still one above. I want to say that's Chala. He'll actually fall down to the middle floor as I say that. So TSM have relinquished top floor control. They're going to play below, likely a C4 denial strategy. They've got 2 in the pockets, or rather 1 in the pocket, as Chief has already used his. So they could deny from below. They can retake their own site. Consulate is big on that. If you retake before the post plant starts, it's pretty strong. Chala is looking for a cheeky pick here at the top of each stairs. It's very dangerous, but if he gets that pick, he could put his team in the driver's seat for this round.
This round has just flown by now as we're mere seconds away from an execute happening from SSG, or the typical time in which an execute would happen. There's a swing from Rampy over the deployable shield. Down goes Fultz. Both teams lose 1. So with 30 seconds remaining, the defense just need to try to hang on as best they can. One of the best players for TSM and one of the best players in the lobby, Bolo, well, he's removed as well. Grenade goes tossing on down. It does a little bit of damage to Merc, but not really all that much. And he persists. He finds Canadian Diffuser as well. Will be relinquished. Geo in on it. Another from Merc. And he vaults out. He can't hit all the shots, but Thinking Nade might as well be a country mile away. 5 seconds remaining. He'll grab the Diffuser, but he knows there's absolutely nothing he can do about it. It's 4-1 in favor of TSM, who are making fantastically quick work of Space Station.
I want you to imagine this. You just won your first round. Your coach calls a tactical timeout, and then you lose 2 in a row.
I'm still imagining the sun and the moon and the stars.
Yeah, can we get that, by the way, can we get that metaphor down? Like, who is which? Are we saying that TSM is the moon?
I was just making a joke to make people angry by calling the sun a planet. And then I had to kind of double down after that when everybody got so angry.
No. I think everybody knew that you were kidding.
Well, you'd be surprised.
Well, since the sun...
This is Twitch chat we're talking with here.
Well, since the sun is
this
flat...
is the collective intelligence of humanity.
The sun is flat, and we all know that. My guess is...
Michael, the Earth is flat. The sun is a spherical planet.
Okay, I thought it was that the sun was flat, and that the Earth was a platform on the backs of elephants on the back of a giant tortoise. Right. And the tortoise is swimming around the flat sun in the cosmic sauce, right?
10 seconds left.
All right. Now that we're all on the same page, who's the tortoise in this equation, and who is the sun?
Attackers must locate.
That's a tough one. I
Is
really
Merc
thought that
the
far ahead.
tortoise?
Here's a run out, by the way,
must
from
be-
Merc.
He's probably the tortoise.
Well, Merc's definitely not the tortoise in that case.
We didn't get the kill. That's unfortunate. He is putting a lot of carry, though, on his shoulders, and it's impressive stuff. Not quite the Earth, but still.
Michael, breaking news. We have a fun fact for everybody.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. It's being piped in from production. SSG and TSM are tied 4-4 on maps in Year 5. The winner of this series will take the overall lead. Michael, that's a fun fact! Woo! So there you have it.
Yay, fun facts.
They've been very closely matched. The upper echelon of North America since the 6 Invitational was SSG, TSM, and DZ. DZ lagging behind a little bit. I think they've made up some ground with their performance in the major. They had a disappointing result, I think, by their standards here in the major, getting bounced by TSM in the lower bracket finals yesterday. But I don't think that at the conclusion of this year, you can look back at the year, the 365 days that DZ has had, and not say, oh, they were successful. They had a good season. They had a good year. DZ has a lot to be proud of. Ditto TSM and SSG. Well, obviously, SSG had a good year. They're the world champions. So,
Do you know, Parker, before I knew what Pokemon was, like I didn't. Up until, I want to say I was like 19, where I learned what like more information about Pokemon. I thought Ditto meant like not even relating to, and it's the opposite. And I didn't know that for so long.
Did you?
So many years.
So
So when
it
people
took-
said Ditto, I thought, like in this case, I would have thought you were mean, oh, these teams haven't had the same success as Dark Zero. That's what I would have thought in the past.
Why
that
did it
meant.
take Pokemon to inform you of that and not a dictionary?
Because Ditto, I thought the saying Ditto came from the Pokemon Ditto, who can like copy Pokemon.
All right, I
don't
refuse to
know.
entertain this any longer because Michael, I'm fuming mad. I am fuming mad, and there is action about to occur because the last
I'm just
3
messing
rounds since
with
the
you. I'm just
timeout
messing
was
with you.
called, by the way, have been very, very quick. And all of the action has been condensed to the final couple moments, as we see before, even though these teams had been more aggressive to start off with. Fultz goes down. Merc continues his great play. 5 rounds in, he's got 9 kills to his name, an impressive tally. Chow will add 1 to his own as well, as Rampy now pressures on the floor underneath the bomb site, as the plan is very likely going to go down on the A bomb site. Merc gets punished by Thinking Nade the Jackal in hot pursuit, leaving 7 players still up. 15 seconds, it's going to be a flurry. We know that. Rampy doesn't have a ton of HP, but he's going to have to try to go for a plant. With a Nitro Cell in hand from the Malusia Bolo and achieved, it's going to need to get tossed up, but Bosco shuts that one down. Chala's second kill is on the Thinking Nade, but Rampy successful in his endeavor, and it's shut down by TSM. What a beautiful retake on their end, with only Geo being the one on the main floor. TSM take a 5-1 lead. They shut the door on SSG's round, and well, they'll swap sides with quite an obstacle to overcome for Spacestation.
Okay, so we have yet to see the side swap happen, so it's hard to say this definitively, but it's certainly looking like the expected result is well and truly in here at this point for TSM. This is their map.
You know what, if I can interject for a second here, that is most shocking.
What's up?
SSG on attack won 5 of their 6 opening duels, held a 4v5 at minimum for longer than 20 seconds. They had 2 objectives go down, and you know what that got them?
1 round.
1 round.
It's pretty desperate at this point for SSG. TSM in the rounds have been the comeback kings. We've had a lot of miracle moments from various players on TSM. In particular, Merc. He has been a standout, obviously. You can see that reflected in his scoreline. The real question for me is how is SSG gonna bounce back from this? Because that's the key. And we know that Spacestation can do it. They've done it before. They did it against Ninjas in Pajamas, as you mentioned earlier. But it's not gonna be an easy task. And I think that right now, as it stands, TSM are very on point. Consulate has looked even better than Clubhouse. And
5 seconds left.
I'm just impressed by TSM's performance so far.
Attackers are heading out.
Even if TSM takes this map, though, Space Station are still in the series, so keep that in mind. Up next, we have Villa. Following that, should we get to it, Cafe.
I also just want to say that, you know what, people would say that I was joking about the whole thing, because now I want to drop it at this point.
What's up?
But it's like I'm just seeing notifications while...
Oh, are people telling you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously, like, we use tablets to keep track of all this stuff, and just I keep seeing little things drop down from people who are tweeting at me, and it just keeps being like, the sun is a planet. The big yellow one's the sun.
We've...
People are angry.
I don't think you're ever gonna convince those people, Parker. You're not gonna ever convince them that you were joking. They're just gonna hold on to it. Merc, wow. Speaking of holding on to things, life just barely. Fultz won't though, as he gets taken down. I believe at the top of yellow stairs. Nice shot from Bolo. Rampy though answers back. Achieved. Out of play. These early engagements, unrelenting. Both of these teams are on each other and throwing as many punches as they can before they go down. It's, it's crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
I was going to say it's crazy because we're like, for example, the Tellers attack, Space Station, when they were attacking, they did almost everything right, and yet TSM still won.
That was the story of at least 3 rounds.
Right.
At least 3 rounds. Was SSG being fundamentally solid on how they execute, using utility well, maybe mismanaging the clock by a couple seconds, which should serve as a reminder to everybody how vital even 2 to 5 seconds can be in this game. Pretty important. So you still got a minute left now, as both these teams sit at a 4v4. The problem is that Merc is on 1 HP, while there's still 3 toxic canisters from Bosco remaining. If the Evil Eyes from Thinking Nate are in play, 2 tases of the Evil Eye onto Merc will finish him off. That's what you're looking at right now. A precarious spot to be in. Also, a default cam left up inside of Visa, not ideal. Chala finally gets it and will now be somewhere in the thick of things towards the back of the bomb site. 30 seconds to go, and with the side shotgun, he can drop. He's just waiting for the call. This will put some pressure on the back end of the bomb site, while the focus from TSM will be on the front. An attempted default plant will likely be what is going to happen, and there you go. Geo hits the exothermic charge. He braces for impact as he and Bolo sprint in. Coverage from both Geo and Bolo is not good enough, thinking they had too much damage. Rampy there as well. Merc gets one from the hatch above, and the plant will go down from Geo, leaving just Merc as the one to survive. He gets dropped and needs to be finished off by Rampy. Geo completes the plant, and he'll have to get out of there. He swings onto one, but he can't outduel Thinking Nade. The Clutch Master himself yesterday returns today, and the guest appearance is enough to give the round to SSG.
Huge kill there for Thinking Nade. Geo, a little overzealous, caught up in the moment, peeking onto the front of white. He didn't need to do that. 2 speed versus 3 speed. He could have played the position advantage. There were options there, but Geo got a little bit caught up. It happens. It's happened to all of us. TSM, though, in general, did not have a great position in terms of their man count and the timing of that execution. The low HP there on Merc was crucial to the outcome of the round. Overall, Spacestation did a great job of delaying. I was actually going to mention this while it was happening. When Fultz was in Harry Potter, or not Fultz, Thinking Nade was in Harry Potter on Maestro, he was doing a great job of just delaying with his Evil Eyes. Lots of information being relayed as well. That's why he was playing so far back. He wanted to relay everything he could and use his Evil Eyes to his advantage. Did just that. So few seconds on the clock for TSM to get that plant down. Even though they managed it, it was just barely. So, well done, Space Station. They breathe a little bit of life into this map. It was a very close result, but a win is a win in the end. And again, we were talking about how both of these teams are playing very well. Neither of them are making many mistakes, and that's been the main story here. It's why you're going to have close rounds like that. And it's why, in this case, whereas it normally wouldn't matter as much, in this case, those close rounds, they mean everything.
This garage has been a fortress so far in which only one attacking team, or only one round has been won by the attacking team. So it's hard to really talk about stats at this point and say, well, you know, garage has been won 3 times by the defense. When the problem is that every single bomb site has been won by the defenders at least once.
It's Consulate for you.
Welcome to Console.
Yeah.
There is still that 4th bomb site upstairs that can be presented at some point. I feel like now that I've said that, it's going to be played somewhat soon because I said the same thing about Bar, Cocktail, and Cafe the other day, and it showed up immediately. So
Parker, tell us if it's a good or bad site. That'll define the result.
The bomb site upstairs?
Yeah.
Console office? It's not a very good bomb site.
Oh, someone's going to win it. Someone's going to win it.
That's just how it works. But that garage obviously is a fortress, and right now, if you look at Thatcher being banned, that makes it more challenging, but Thatcher's a pretty standard ban to have. Opening pick in front of our very eyes. Merc just broke double digits. His reward, an early grave. Down goes the Ash. So the rest of TSM that are going to focus on this top floor control are going to need to do so without the flashes of the Ash, without the breaching rounds of the Ash, and without the natural instincts of Merc.
The superhuman strength of the Ash as well.
Correct.
As her superhuman speed. And the list goes on. Anyway, bullet holes being played in bathroom there by SSG, but that's not the main setup for the defense. Bosco, CEO, he's the first front. Spotted out. Canadian will reposition. Bosco's been spotted as well. You can see the goal here for these players. The time. The clock continues to dwindle. TSM has to reconsider their options. Are they going to commit fully to this top floor clear? It's not going to be an easy thing to do. You've got 2 1.5s you're dealing with. Actually, scratch that. Bosco's using the AUG. You could have 2 1.5s, but no. Right now, it's just a waiting game. TSM looks like they have committed to repositioning. I want to say there's only one attacker still upstairs. That's Bolo. I think he's just going to be playing the long con. TSM, the rest of them, setting up for the execution into B. They know what their goal is now. They just have to wait for the call to execute.
And here it could come. Chala on to Rampy as the numbers for the defense will thin ever so slightly. An answer back from Space Station as these teams now come to blows. Thinking need some damage done in exchange for possibly stopping Geo on the plant. We don't know, but Achiev's coverage will need to be good. Firing through the smoke, he finds one, misses an opportunity on the other. Diffuser goes down, and Geo still takes some damage from the residual smoke hanging in the air, but that'll be it. Achieved another missed opportunity as, well, he can't really do anything to the 1 HP of Thinking Nade. The moment that Thinking Nade emerges from that spot, he knows he's as good as dead. SMG 11 in hand, he'll have to fight against the storm, playing against this angle, some damage done. What a shot from Thinking Nade! He's going to need to get possibly stimmed by Canadian, who still has 3 remaining. But the Doc's focus is, at the moment, on Geo and Tellers. And the Hibana might walk out without knowing about it. There goes Chala for 2 big kills. He's got 3 to his name, looking for a 4th. He's going to need to do it all. But with 7 seconds left, Bosco has no choice but to stick here. Chala, is he good enough? Yes, he is. TSM will now be on match point after that one.
Big 4K there for Chala. Nice post-plant play. He decides to position himself by Zed and hold on to that diffuser. Well done. Truly. Accolades being paid there. Thinking Aid accepting, as rightfully so. SSG did have some big moments where it looked like they were going to be able to bring it back, but no. Match point TSM. I love the call there. I don't know who made that mid-round call for TSM, but they saved it. We were looking at a situation where SSG did a great job, top floor roaming, delaying that execution upstairs. So much time wasted. I thought TSM was going to fully commit to the top floor clear, and they were going to lose because of it. That's what I saw happening. But some genius on TSM made the call, let's just not clear out all the top floor. We'll deny them playing inside a projector long enough for us to plant the diffuser in the main lobby. It worked out perfectly. You saw that SSG didn't even expect the plant. A little bit of a fun fact here. Merc and Bolo currently combined for 39 kills in just 19 rounds, including 6 opening kills. That is a staggering statistic.
Fun fact!
Fun fact! Ah!
That's how they need to be presented moving forward. Merc and Bolo are putting on an absolute clinic against Spacestation right now, and the problem is that Bolts has gone relatively quiet. Rampy has gone kind of quiet. And in Rainbow Six, just as with most games, you see it in other competitive shooters. You can see it in other games as well that don't have as well-defined roles. Obviously, it's tough to do in a game like a MOBA where a tank or a healer is not necessarily getting the same level of kills. But in first-person shooters, if your support roles are doing better than your fraggers, that does not necessarily mean that your support roles are doing well. It means that your fraggers are underperforming. Bosco and Thinking Nade leading the way on the team just really shouldn't be happening. I think more than anything, that speaks to a breakdown in the strats that are being thrown out by SSG or the way that Fultz and Rampy are playing. And yeah, we always say that when you look at SSG or when you look at TSM with Bolo, Achieved, or Merc, Rampy and Fultz are going to get droned in on Space Station. They are not directly responsible for every kill they get, but they should always be in competition for top frag on their team, no questions asked. The fact that they are not, the fact that the rest of the team makes up for it is good, but it is not ideal. Bolo gets dropped down and Fultz shows some signs of life. He'll need a couple more of those to keep his team in it as, well, it's the razor's edge for Space Station. TSM will be on match point for quite a while. SSG's only opportunity to close this one out will have to come through overtime, which is a hell of a long time from now. They'll have to play roughly 15 to 20 more minutes of Rainbow Six just to get to that point. So it's going to be a marathon, not a sprint. Thinking Nade had also been picked off by a grenade that was tossed on in. The Wamai's magnets not doing him any favors as Achieved finds his third kill in this lobby.
TSM have made another slight adjustment. Merc positions himself on the balcony. Ash charge used on the window. This is dangerous, but he can make it work for him. No damage done to Canadian. He does not get the flashes back there as he expected. Gas canister goes on the balcony. Merc's in a difficult spot if he's caught in that, but he's not. Lucky him. He'll breathe in a little bit, but not enough to matter. Shots, though, are landing, and Bosco will get the blast and push him off that balcony. Man advantage now for SSG. And TSM are starting to struggle, but Chala, once again, the hero, is all the way in. He's at connector. This is huge, but C4 from below will shut him down. That's the pulse of C4, and now no more denial from below. It'll have to be the UMP that does the work. Geo will go for a plant, but there's the UMP. As you speak of it, it shall appear. Achieved now the last attacker, and he's got a clash to deal with. The information being relayed here by the clash is huge. He might be able to get the clash with the nade. It might happen. There it is. The down. Beautiful play from Achieved. He gets his third kill. Now in a 1 versus 1 versus Rampy. He's going to have to push up spiral stairs. He's committed to that now with 15 seconds left. Achieved does not have a lot of options, and he doesn't know where his opponent is pushing up from. This is all Rampy all the time. Achieved is going to try and stick the plant, and he'll get it down. In post-plant, he flicks up, sees his opponent, lands the shot! Incredible! Achieved in the 1v1. Really a 1v2. He manages it, and TSM will take their second map.
Good Lord, what a clutch that is from Achieved. He's been underperforming all map, and then he comes in huge in the most important round for his team, and he breaks the hearts of Space.